Hey everyone, it's another week. Welcome back to What's Up with the Stock Market Tri-Cities edition. This week we will look at transactions between February 21 to 25 in the Tri-Cities. Just like every episode, I just want to note that I'm not a real estate agent. I'm just someone who's actively looking at the housing market, and I just want to shed a light on housing affordability here in the Tri-Cities. If you're looking at purchasing or selling real estate, please make sure you talk to a realtor as they are the professionals in this field. Do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button below so that I know you enjoy watching these videos. This week, we report more transactions than last week, even though we had Family Day this week. Overall, in Port Moody, Coquitlam and Port Coquitlam, we had 131 transactions, which is an increase of 33 from 98 the previous week. It looks like there's still some upwards pressure bringing prices up, but not as crazy as December and January due to the increase of listings that we've seen recently. For apartments, there were 64 transactions over the last 4 days, which is way higher than the week before. The average age is 14.6 years old. We're seeing sales of new builds and buildings as old as 52 years old this week. Average sale also went up by 1.5% to 709,220, which broke this 700,000 mark once again, while the median is 663,944. This tends to suggest that the bulk of the transaction happened on the lower end of the average, and a few outliers on the higher end is driving prices up. The average square foot stayed relatively the same, down by 1, which is insignificant. The average dollar per square foot went up by $12 to $854. This means that space is once again becoming more valuable. The amounts of people bid relative to listing is also down by $2,300, which isn't much, but could be due to the higher price tag that's decreasing affordability in this bracket or higher listings. The overbid average stayed the same. For townhouses, there were 26 transactions, which is slightly higher than the week before. Townhouses are slightly older this week as there aren't that many new builds to average down. The average building is 22.3 years old. We'll compare this figure with the next week's figure because I just started tracking it. The average sale is up by $55,000 to $1,176,972, while the median is $1,209,500, which means that there are a few townhouses that are on the cheaper end that's driving the average down. The average square feet is 1709, which means that people are opting for bigger townhouses. This is a change of 66, likely due to a number of older units going on sale. 2,500 square feet is the highest that we saw in terms of transactions, and they just don't build townhouses to this size as often as people would just opt for a house at that price point. The average dollar per square foot also went down, but not significantly. The amount of people bid relative to listing price went up for townhouses from $115,276 by $8,818. This small amount could be tied to people receiving paychecks and are able to increase their offers, or realtors are just pricing townhouses higher. For houses, we saw 41 transactions, up by 9 from 32 the previous week. Houses are significantly older in this category as expected, as not many single-family homes have been built over the past year. The range is between 1 and 76. We'll likely see that as older houses get sold, they'll likely be torn down and built into newer houses just because buying a lot gives you that flexibility. The average sale is 2.032770, which is up by $148,975, 8% from the previous week, with median at $1,850,000, which means that there's some outliers on the higher end. The average square feet is 3,002, up by 53 from 2,949. The 1.7% space increase for a house isn't that much, likely due to some very big houses being sold. The average dollar per square foot also increased by $7.1318, so about 4%, which means that space is becoming more valuable. The overbid average is $156,487, which is an increase of $17,451, which means that realtors are still pricing houses on a lower end and people are still overbidding. The overbid average is 9%, which is down, which means that people are bidding more money on bigger properties, but properties that are more affordable see less overbids. The first property we're going to look at is the most expensive sold apartment this week, 21350 Electronic Avenue in Port Moody. It's a new build, and new builds are expected to sell for higher. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,165 square feet apartment in Klahani. This price tag was $1,089,000. On the contrast, the most affordable apartment sold this week was 108-200 West Hill Place in Port Moody. It's a 52-year-old apartment with 630 square feet of space, but it's perfect for someone who's starting out and building equity to move up. At $383,520, a first-time home buyer can qualify for certain incentives from provincial and the federal government. Minimum down payment would have been $19,176, assuming that they make around $80,000 to qualify for the mortgage. They were able to get this apartment below listing. The listing's taxable value was $643,000, which means that they paid 6% over the assessed value from this summer. The highest dollar per square foot is 301,707 Como Lake Avenue in Coquitlam. It's a 1-year-old apartment with 1 bed, 1 bath, and 487 square feet of space, slightly smaller than the previous one. Since it's a new apartment, they still have the 2510 warranty from the developer, and at $1,160 per square foot, it's likely due to the convenience of Coquitlam SkyTrain station and the proximity to Simon Fraser University. This apartment went $15,000 over listing. The listing's taxable value over the summer was $470,000, which means that they paid 17% over assessed value. 602555 Austin Avenue is a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,281 square feet apartment, which is slightly bigger than the other apartments in the Tri-Cities. They were able to get a good deal at $351.62 per square feet, sold it under listing price. It's 32 years old, not sure about the future of this building because I didn't research the building, but at least they paid a lease amount for that massive space. The listing summer assessed value was $334,500, which means that they paid 15% over assessed value. $71,228 Hudson Street is an almost new townhouse, 1-year-old, with 4-bed, 4-bath, and 2,083 square feet. It's sold at a price tag of $1,728,888, around $155,500 higher than the second highest townhouse sold in the Tri-Cities. This unit is in a quiet neighborhood. BC assessment prices at $1.33 million, which means that it's sold at around 30% higher than the summer value, which is normal. 305 Marathon Court is the most affordable townhouse sold in the Tri-Cities. It's 61 years old, comes with 2 bed, 1 bath, and 951 square feet. It's sold at $470,100, which means that the lucky person qualified for the first-time homebuyer incentives. Unfortunately, they had to bid 25% over listing at $95,000. The silver lining was that they also came in at the bottom 4 square feet, which means that they may be able to sell their home for higher with some renovations and after building equity over time. BC assessment prices at $376,100, which means that it's sold at around 25% higher than the summer price, which is also normal. 45-3461 Princeton is one of the 2 townhouse units in this complex that was listed. The other unit is bigger by 61 square feet, but also sold for $19,000 more. Both units were sold around 20% over asking at $200,000. This listing is 8 years old with 3-bed, 3-bath, and 1,400 square feet. It's sold at $1.2 million, which is around the average price for a townhouse in the Tri-Cities. BC assessment price is at $910,000, which means that it's sold at 32% over assessed value, which is on the higher end, but given this market, it seems normal. 1126 Chateau Place in Port Moody is the most affordable per square feet in the Tri-Cities. It is a 54-year-old townhouse with 3-bed, 1-bath, and 1,852 square feet of room. It's sold at $830,000 at 28% over asking. BC assessment priced this at $742,400, so they paid around 12% higher. I feel like this property was undervalued and has a lot of potential. 1626 Rochester is a 4-year, 7-bed, 7-bath house near central Coquitlam. It is the highest sold detached house in Coquitlam this week at $3.25 million. It's a lot of room at 5,263 square feet, around 75% bigger than the average house in Coquitlam. It's still a good deal when it comes to dollars spent per room. It was listed at $3.15 million, so they paid 3% or $100,000 over listing. I don't know if there was a competitive offer. The summer BC assessment value was $2.068 million, so they paid over $1 million over the assessed value, which works out to about 57% higher. So they are on the extreme high side, but properties like this don't come online often. 1535 Eleanor Crescent in Port Coquitlam is a 47-year-old house, the most affordable on this market actually in the Tri-Cities. It has 5-bed, 3-bath, and 2,261 square feet of room in an average size lot. Over the summer, BC assessment assessed it at $1.3 million, which means that they paid 16% over assessed value, which is normal growth given the market these days. 3202 Dunkirk Avenue in Coquitlam is the most expensive per square feet in the Tri-Cities. It is a 43-year-old house with 1,628 square feet. The BC assessment value was $1.197 million, which means that this lot grew by 28% since the summer. They paid $942.87 per square foot, which means that they paid $230 per square foot higher than the average house. 4047 Joseph Place is a 14-year-old house with 4-bed, 3-bath, and 3,741 square feet of space on 0.13 acres. It is the most affordable in terms of space, coming in at $460.71, totaling $1.723,500 for this transaction. The BC assessment value is 1.427, so they purchased it at 21% higher than the assessed value. I hope you enjoy watching this week's video on transactions this week. People are saying that the market's slowing down, but based on the statistics, it doesn't seem like it. The Bank of Canada will make a decision on interest rates this March, so we'll see what kind of effect it has on the housing market. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can be updated on the housing market every week. Again, I just want to point out that I'm not a realtor. This information I put together is based off numerous sources. If you're looking at buying or selling a place, talk to your realtor as they can offer you professional advice. Don't make your decision just based on the information that I put together. Make a well-educated decision before you make these financial decisions. Hope to see you next week. Have a nice day.